Most people across America have that one love that never came to pass, but did it not come to pass because other people interfered? Other people thwarted God's plans? Or did you personally give up on the love that God had planned for you? Did you not get your way in that second of time and you're so impatient after 10 years of someone waiting for you to be mature enough, ready enough, and available enough that you just walked out of the scene? You see, you created some incredible scenes in a man's life that he can never take out of his soul. And then you walked off and you fucked somebody else. And as a pagan priest, I can understand these stories because I hear them from people who take the time to sit with me, to talk to me, to share with me their story, their life story. As a reporter, I'm an exceptionally good listener. I also read between the lines. I hear the pain, I can see it in the face, and anybody can tell when you're high on life versus high on something of Satan's house. You see, the beauty of a woman is always in her eyes, and the vulnerability that she gives to people is incredible. But you can't be that way all the time with everyone because there's always a predator that wants to take advantage of a beautiful girl. And a beautiful girl doesn't deserve what people think she deserves. And yet God made a plan for that girl. And now she's with somebody who's so monkeying her brain that the vanity might be off charts, or maybe the man himself is vain. Maybe she's the cougar and he's the younger man. Maybe she did that so that she could feel herself again, but she's convinced herself that she loves that guy. And in truth, maybe she does. But when did she meet him? How long was she with him? How long did she decide to play in God's house and in God's game? And how many times did she go to a campus looking for her friend and then never had the guts enough to see him while he's awake? How many times did she play in God's game and then decided that God's game wasn't good enough for her? God's game just wasn't high enough for her to bow herself down on her knees, thanking the Lord for all she has, no matter what that is. The value of being a pagan priest is that I know the 3 vows of priesthood, and those things are quite simple. There's celibacy, which is easy for a man to handle when he's madly in love with someone and doesn't want anybody else, and yet there are people in a community who thought that he didn't have the right to his face, that he didn't have the right to his fashion, that he didn't have the right to have clothes not ripped and torn and abused by someone, and that he apparently didn't have the right to freedom of religion underneath the First Amendment, freedom of religion, because they decided to cut his beard off and make a mockery of his life in front of Jesus Christ that they profess to worship. Under no circumstances do you worship God if you participated in any Catholic form of abuse of a man's face, no matter what the fuck you think of him.